Is this as bad as the Exxon Valdez yet? Have they said?
See, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. They haven't said yet. I do know this, though. There have been experts who have come out and say this does have the potential to blacken, albeit temporarily, all of the world's oceans.
Wow.
So, I don't know if there's any of you Bible thumpers out there, but it does mention in Revelations that all of the earth's water will turn black. So, how about that?
All right, you know what? It's funny. Like when you just said that, I got like, you remember that scene in Ghostbusters when they're like driving around
Absolutely.
and he starts quoting Revelation and the guy's just like, "Man, now you're scaring me." Like you just scared me a little bit.
But I mean, like seriously, you look at it. There's only really one event that we can look at, barring supernatural events, that could account for all of the oceans turning black, and it would be a huge oil spill.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're also
I believe in.
Right, but no, I know, but
It's always just crazy when
it's one of those things like like when they're just like and the dead will rise like in Ghostbusters and like even that scene is a little creepy and you're just like, oh my god.
Maybe we find a clip of that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And they got a huge PR campaign, a lot of lots of spin going on out there. The last thing that I saw was they had this little chart that tried to measure how bad is the current oil spill. So then it has a little graph, and it has like Exxon Valdez, this many barrels, and then this oil spill, and the compared to the other ones, and of course they fudge the numbers to make it look bad because that's the point of this propaganda. They're like, oh, see, this oil spill isn't that bad. It's only the 15th worst oil spill ever. But that was before they came out with how BP changed the barrels a day and how that there were actually 3 leaks and not 2 and how... So it is much worse than they thought. And you're right, all the oceans will change. It's been 20 years and Alaska still has not recovered from Exxon Valdez.
Yeah. And another thing that's interesting, I mean, this is just my speculation. I'm no scientist, but the Exxon Valdez happened near Alaska, right? That's correct. And
yes.
This one is in the Gulf of Mexico. There's so much more life in the water. Like,
That's true, yeah.
There's life up in Alaska too, but this is the Gulf. So like the potential of damaging all these different ecosystems is probably much greater because there's simply so much more biodiversity in the Gulf.
First thing I did was I called my Alaskan friend who's into stock trading, and I asked him if there was any derivatives that I could get into that could, make bets against corporations who do fishing in the Gulf, and so I could put on some put auctions, like make he created the fund for me, and we got So we're blowing up, man. We're making like billions of dollars off of this just by betting against people who are suffering. I mean, Wall Street people do it all the time, so there's nothing wrong with us doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
not only making money from doing nothing, but making money off other people's suffering.
Yeah, but really, that was the first thing I thought of. And I went online, and I couldn't find any fish companies from the Gulf or anything. I did find a lot of news articles of people complaining, saying, like, this is going to destroy our business. But it's going to be a few more weeks before we can see the financial results of people getting their businesses destroyed. So you're going to start to see a lot of articles and a lot of hit pieces and a lot of documentaries coming out within the next year about this. And, forever, probably.
Yeah.
Could it have been a false flag attack? Could it have been intentionally?
I mean, it's
much like the levees in New Orleans.
Right. That's what I mean. That's why I even said the
neglected.
word like a levee. Like I alluded to that earlier.
I mean, it's real simple. People always think it's such a wild thing to suggest that New Orleans, those events could have been allowed to happen. And they say, well, it was a hurricane. They can't predict a hurricane. Yeah, but you can predict the levees that you were scheduled to repair in order to protect you from the goddamn hurricane.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And there is the what do you call it? Like a what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like a cliche, like a motive of opportunity or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the cliche, but like,
I know what
they're
you're
like,
talking about.
oh, look, there's a, like, let's use this.
Right. Rahm Emanuel, you never let a good crisis go to waste.
Right, exactly. Let me see. You know what? It's funny. I'm trying to find the Ghostbusters quote, but I can find the Ghostbusters quote, but like not
video, no video,
not a video, but like I mean, still, I mean, if we can,
Why don't you just read it to us in Winston's voice?
Ray.
Oh man.
So it's going to in July. We're supposed to get medicinal marijuana passed in New Jersey. Well, it's already passed. It's supposed to come into effect in July.
Well, still, it needs to be legalized everywhere. They can shove their medicinal up their ass because the idea is, it's just the whole thing makes me sick. It should be suggested to everyone. It should be encouraged for them to consume some marijuana from time to time. It fights cancer. Sometimes can cure it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
We're not making this stuff up. Look it up. Google it. Marijuana prevents precancerous cells.
The Rick Simpson story. Google it.
And even and not even just that, but so many other things that are actual medicines, quote unquote, are so much worse.
Sure.
And they'll just,
What's
and that's
that?
fine. I don't understand. Maybe you guys can explain it to me. Why do they have it out for marijuana so much? Why?
Oh, well, because it's
Racism.
so easy to produce it yourself, and they cannot really monopolize it the same way they do with tobacco. And I mean, I'm sure there's a million people who can explain it better than I can, but they can't wrap their tentacles around it the same way, because you can have your own little personal garden and easily sprout up some hemp
I mean,
plants.
that's true. Yeah, you can't grow
And they've had it out for this plant for so many different reasons. There's the health benefits. There's the benefits in so many different areas, like paper. It is moronic. It is asinine to make paper out of trees. Trees take a whole human fucking lifetime to grow. It is ridiculous to cut them down to make paper out of it, because you can make it out of the hemp plant, and hemp plant takes, soak this part in. Hemp plant takes roughly 3 or 4 months to grow to maturity. So compare that to 15 years for a tree, and you can ask yourself, oh, and the paper is more durable. It's better in every way. It's less toxic because you have to have chemicals to treat the wood to make it malleable, so you can actually make paper out of it. Better in every way, yet it's illegal. All your plastics, sorry to cut you off, Britt, but all your plastics, like you take a compact disc case, take your Stone Temple Pilots CD, the plastic case that is holding it, you can make that out of hemp, and it won't be toxic, and it won't be made out of petroleum.
Oh, what about that?
Well, there's a free country. Ain't no wrong about cotton industry introducing legislation to make their business stronger.
Yeah, there is. Who invited that hillbilly in here?
Because the cotton industry and the paper industry and who else, profits went up after they, made cannabis illegal, cannabis/hemp. Because it's
Profits went up for who?
The paper industry, the cotton industry, and the
When they made it legal, when was that? What are you talking about?
in the 30s.
Was it legal in the 30s?
No, when they made it illegal.
Illegal. Okay.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
the non-hemp companies
Right.
finally had they had a chance.
And they had to actually, that's when they started throwing the term marijuana around, because everybody knew what hemp was. And everybody would often grow it themselves and use it. It was something that was accepted. You can go to the local store and get some hemp oil. So they had to actually start calling it marijuana, because they knew calling it hemp, people would just laugh at them, saying, we need to outlaw hemp. They'd be like, what are you talking about? I have 3 hemp plants growing in my backyard right now.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a little late to the party, but I actually have the quote from Ghostbusters, but it's not a video.
Okay.
So I will just
in the
read
voice
it
of Winston.
in the voice of Winston.
Wait, can we go to a song or something and then come back with that? I think that'd be
Oh,
Get
man.
the Ghostbusters theme.
Really
Hey,
hype
Red,
it up. Play.
you
Oh
remember
no, I have
something
an excellent clip. We're gonna play it for you right now. This will
All right.
knock your socks off.
All right, do it.
I remember Revelation 7:12. And I looked, and he opened the 6th seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became as black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood.
Hold on, I'm sorry. You are Ray. You are Rick. What is his
Dan
name?
Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd, and you are Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Yeah.
Should we switch it?
And
I'm saying, I just want to see a little more.
all right,
oomph here.
all right.
You know? Remember, Ernie.